From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
He did it. $1,400 third stimulus checks have landed in bank accounts for available funds or in pending deposits for next Wednesday, April 7th. Congratulations, you've made it to the finish line. The tow truck and the tow hitch have passed over the finish line. $1,400 third stimulus checks have arrived in bank deposits or for pending release for April 7th across the land. Millions of viewers, hundreds of thousands of viewers have finally gotten the notification they have the money. This includes SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, Direct Express by Comerica, big banks like Bank America, Chase as well. Finally, the $1,400 third stimulus check is here. And away we go now into the remainder of third stimulus. There's so much other money that is available for you to get. And guess what? It's first come, first serve. And this recording, I'll go over the other money you can start getting right now. $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Money that's available right now and won't be available indefinitely. So you as a Purple Hawk, want to get that money right across the board right now. Also, what's happening very famously and very surprisingly is standalone stimulus bills that are happening this week. Those bills are even before forced stimulus lands or comes to port across the land. I'll be going over those standalone bills and what's happening with forced stimulus. Also, new video from the White House, Dr. Walensky, President, new videos throughout this recording, and a new forced stimulus video released just minutes ago. It's a great morning. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and finally, that $1,400 third stimulus check is here as well. Congratulations, let's get ready to rock and roll, or some might say, let's get ready to hop to it. It's Easter, and this is LALATE. Morning, everybody. Saturday morning. How are you? The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. The stimulus check is here. And if only the IRS Check Your Stimulus tool could have said, when my bacon was coming, it would have been so much better. Check my bacon tool. We need that check my bacon tool so I can track when my bacon's coming in the mail. But it's, it didn't come. How are you? Happy Saturday morning. Congratulations. Congratulations. You really deserve it. It has been a long road on that tow truck and the tow hitch, but it finally passed over the finish line. Congratulations. I saw your comments on Early Mornings LA. I saw your comments on private messages and social media and Twitter and Facebook. Millions and millions of viewers have now gotten the $1,400 third stimulus check or show it pending for release April 7th. Congratulations. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe because this is a community and part of a community to ensure you get every penny in the third stimulus. And in this video, I'm going to cut now to the other money that you could start getting right now because now that forced stimulus has landed, away we go to the other money. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. In this recording, I'll go over what happened overnight. I'll also be cutting to third stimulus, these standalone bills for stimulus and for stimulus. But first, a personal message. When I launched this channel back on April 25th, I was covering EIDL. And as EIDL folded over the next few weeks, viewers asked me early on, what are you going to do when we finally get our EIDL? Are you going to leave us? Are you going to close up shop? Are you going to say goodbye? And I said, no, my promise to you is I won't leave if you don't leave. And I didn't. And then when we went to second stimulus check, and that landed around December, people asked again, are you going to leave? Are you going to leave when we're done with this? And I said, the promise again is, I won't leave if you won't leave. Well, certainly, as millions of Americans got their $1,400 stimulus check yesterday, and now more have it pending for next Wednesday, the promise is renewed. Ultimately, if you want to go, you can go. But if you want to stay, I will stay. As time rolls on, the subject matters of the channel changes slightly. But for now, the focus is getting the viewers of this channel the $5, $10, $15, $20,000 of third stimulus that is now about to go live. It has been delayed, the other items of third stimulus. So my dedication is to get you that money if you want it. Also, those standalone bills of stimulus are happening. And for stimulus, well, that's just around the corner. So ultimately, there are some people that will grab that stimulus check and ride off into the sunset, and we will never see them again. But for those of you who want to stay, my promise is I will stay if you will stay. And with that, let me get to the breaking developing news. The breaking developing news is that millions of Americans on Friday saw the results of Friday morning. On Friday morning, the Treasury sent out what is called the fourth wave of the third stimulus check of $1,400. And by the middle to late part of that day, you may have been tuning into this channel, I had a live ticker on the screen that showed the banks that released the funds on Friday. They don't hold the funds. And those banks were Chime, Cash App, Bank Corp, Netspend, MetaBank, Green Dot. Also, surprises included Brinks and a few credit unions. And along with it were California Bank and Trust. Now, what happened overnight were other banks across the board, every type of bank, for every type of viewer, posted new alerts in that IRS.GOV tool. Available, check, April 7th. Congratulations. You really deserve it. It's been a long run. It really has been a long run, and you're finally getting that check. So if you are a Bank of America customer, it shows a pending. If Chase, Wells Fargo, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, not on benefits, taxpayer, not taxpayer, non-filer, filer, or even the Direct Express by Comerica. Finally, hundreds of thousands of you have it now pending for next Wednesday. And with that, my dedication has to you always been to make 2021 a year in which you're cashing checks, not tracking checks. And while over the last 2 weeks, we have been tracking checks, it's now time to focus on the other money that's coming to you. It's important to understand that those April 26 mail checks are late. They're still coming. They're 7 to 8 days out. Don't worry, it's in the mail. And those April 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th checks in the mail, they're coming. But it doesn't really make sense to keep on saying something's coming. It's coming in the mail. There's nothing else one can say except be patient. So what are the other items in that third stimulus package that are about to go live that you're entitled to? Boy, it is a lot of money. If you make less than $75,000, if you are single, if you're a senior, this is money for you. The first item that's about to go live that has been very delayed is finally the rent, utilities, homeowners assistance, mortgages, property owner assistance, and those similar items. If you missed the breaking news last week, it was buried among all the great other developing details. The eviction moratorium of CDC was extended by the president by executive order to about either June or September. This is the last time it's going to be extended, understand. Why? Because the concept currently is that you are to get this money for rent and utilities, food, mortgage assistance now, and then that will be the last run. Then they're going to lift the eviction moratorium and away we go. So it's very important you understand why I say away we go. You need to get this money. You need to get this money. This will be the last hurrah for this money. Now, here's what you need to know. I have one viewer who dropped in the comments yesterday, a very long-time viewer, said she gets a pad and a pen and takes notes all the time. I love that. And I'm going to tell you, I want you to do that as well, but I want you to do this as additionally. I want you to get the listing and the phone numbers of certain places you're going to call and then save it in that pad for the following reasons. Under second stimulus, I told you to reach out to your state housing authority, state hall, county housing authority, county hall, city housing authority, city hall, to get that money for rent, utilities, food, mortgage assistance as well. Well, guess what? It's going to be the same place for third stimulus. The federal government sends out the money for third stimulus to the states, cities, and counties, so I can't track it for you. The volunteers can help you find it, but I can't track every city and county. the money will be there again. So write down the phone number of that county housing authority or city housing authority, because they're going to have the following things for you. After second stimulus runs out, it'll be third stimulus, just with a new name. Rent, utilities for renters, and then for property owners, mortgage assistance, property owners' utilities, and a vague collection of words like property owners' homeowners' expenses, which is going to be thinly defined differently every jurisdiction. Viewers always ask me every day, what about property taxes? It just depends where you live. So you want to get that pad and write down those phone numbers, because those are about to go live. Next things are about to go live are the $1,700 of financial aid for college students. Where is that to be found? You got that college financial advisor that gets paid a nice six-figure salary every year by that college. They're paid to know exactly where it is. So reach out to that college financial advisor. Every university has it. And ask them about the third stimulus, $1,700 of financial aid. If you're a member to this channel, you go to the table of contents of the bill, which is the very beginning. And towards the middle, there's a section for colleges. It's only about 7 pages long, and that's where that $1,700 is mentioned. Also, what's really becoming a big issue this last week was the $10,200 for unemployment, the tax refund ish. I would say ish of it, because it's not exactly a tax refund. I'll explain it to you in a second. And also the children, the $4,400, the $3,600, the $3,000 for children, those are about to land right as well. And viewers have been asking me throughout the last few days, how do I get it? How do I fix it? I'll be going over those in a second. But let me cut back to the stimulus check now for a little bit. The $1,400 third stimulus check's effective date is April 7th. And so people were asking me on social media this morning, why do some places not release the funds to April 7th? Because the effective date of the payment is April 7th. So Direct Express by Comerica will not release until April 7th. They'll show it pending for you, either in their portal or from the IRS.GOV. And if it doesn't show either place, it's going to happen. Next, the big banks, Bank America, Chase, Citicorp, they also don't release the funds until April 7th. But the smaller banks, if you've seen them released today, Saturday, yesterday, Friday, or this coming Monday, they're released. Otherwise, it's coming on Wednesday. With that, let me cut back now to what's going on with this big money for that draws upon questions about IRS. People have been wondering what happened to that $10,200. Let me explain what got also announced this week, amongst a lot of other announcements. IRS gave an advisory this week that if you are an individual who has a question about that $10,200, then guess what? This is what IRS said this week. Earlier this month, last month, IRS said, do not file an amended return. 2 days ago, IRS said the following. If you have filed a 2020 tax return and have paid taxes on that 2020 return for unemployment, they are automatically going to send you a tax refund in May, about 3 weeks from now. So again, this is for people who have filed 2020 tax returns, individual, and have paid for taxes for that unemployment. They're going to send you a tax refund automatically to your address on file. Now, how about the people who have not filed their 2020 tax return but have a question about the situation? IRS also this week said they're going to issue another advisory for you. Hold off on filing that 2020 tax return just yet. It's due a month later, remember, because they extended the personal return deadline from April to May. So hold off on filing your return. Then the children. A lot of you have been asking, what about that child? I have a child. I don't think IRS knows about it, but I want to make sure I get that money starting month of July. What do? This is another item that IRS said, do not file anything yet. We will tell you we're going to fix it. So that's likely to be announced next week as well. How much is this? It's a lot of money. It's $3,600 for a child 5 to newborn, paid $300 a month starting the month of July, automatic, by IRS, every month in the mail. Or If the child's 17 to newborn to 6, it's $250 a month, every month through the month of July to next year. There's also other items that people have been asking about. How about the hazard pay? How about the earned income tax credit? How about the child care tax credit? How about EIDL and more? I have all those questions answered. And then we'll be cutting over to the standalone stimulus bills that suddenly formulated late this week. There's a lot of standalone stimulus bills before forced stimulus, and that'll be cutting to forced stimulus. Stay with LALATE. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as Mornings LA kicks into high gear. We're hopping to it. Stimulus checks have been hopping into mailboxes, direct deposits, and direct deposit alerts overnight. Congratulations. You really deserve it. It has been a big run, and I know it has been a long run for many of you. And finally, the finish line, we've passed it. Congratulations. Big hug and congratulations to you, to the hundreds of thousands of viewers who had that pending alert or that pending deposit or that mail pending in the mail that's just a day or two late. Congratulations. That $1,400 stimulus check is finally coming. Wow. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're approaching our 1-year anniversary. And as a family, the focus is now getting you the other money in the third stimulus. There's a lot of other money. If you are any type of person who makes less than $75,000, this is money for you. And what's important to understand is it's first come, first serve. The money's not going to be around much longer. And as soon as it goes live, you want to pounce as a purple hawk. Walk, walk. So you don't want to wait around. Also like this video. Let's try to do 2,000-3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, the link's at the top of the chat. You want to become a member because there's a lot of new bills hitting. During the commercial break, someone asked, are those student loans, is the student loan debt forgiveness going to be for federal and for private? I'm getting to that in just a great second. That's a great question. Keep those great questions coming. The other items that are about to go live in third stimulus in the next few days, which you have to be ready to pounce as a purple hawk, in addition to the rent and the food and the mortgage assistance and the homeowners assistance, which we just covered, along with the student financial aid, is the business items. The EIDL grant is supposed to go live. I'm going to say it like that. I hope it goes live, if you know what I mean, because it just feels like Jovita Carranza all over again. But the one that is going live, at least according to SBA.gov, is the shuttered venue grant, which makes me laugh every time I say that. Because people be like, I don't have shutters. Well, I only have drapes. Can I get that? I only have blinds. Can I get that? Yeah, you can get it. And guess what? It has nothing to do with venues either. So the shuttered venue grant is not particularly only for venues, and it's not just for shutters. It's also for drapes, and it's also for taco trucks. It's just, when it comes to SBA, they're just not very good on naming things. So I want you to go to SBA.gov. They have a sign up now for preview of the application. It's sort of like a test drive, just without the car keys. Did you go to SBA and sign up for a preview application of the shuttered venue grant, again, with no shutters and no venue? That has gone live. The EIDL loan increase has gone live. The PPP was extended last week by executive order. That was also buried in the news. That, of course, is a grant. You can get that. So if you tried it before with one PPP lender and they blew you off, try with another. You can apply with as many as you want until you get someone that's helpful. Those are all brand new. So what is still pending and of question in the third stimulus package? Well, the child care credit, that would be a 2021 item. Remember, that's $5,000, up to $5,000 of child care credit, not the child, but the child care credit. And then the hazard pay, the $1,500, that's an earned income tax credit, that is on the 2021 return. But in addition to that, there's a series of standalone things percolating, formulating, or being talked about. Certainly being talked about is that SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, $2,400, number one. Two, paying that unpaid FPC retro from last year, number two. Number three, hazard pay, bring it back in full form, unpaid. But last week, a major shocker, as the $50,000 of student loan debt, a standalone bill, absolutely got right near the finish line. Let me explain what happened with that one. Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer in November started pressing the president to do it by executive order. He said no. So what they did was they introduced a standalone bill for it to the Senate. And then over the last few months, they've pushed him over and over again to do executive order. Finally, he blinked. On Thursday, he dispatched his labor secretary to prepare a legal memo to determine the legal validity of forgiving $50,000 of student loan debt. My guess, it's going to happen. Why? If Elizabeth Warren's correct, which she usually is, she says he has legal authority because Obama and Trump forgave student loan debt as well. So Biden can do it as well. If that's true, you would see it in about 2 weeks from now. Would be private and public loan debts? It appears that it will, but we need to see the details. Is it for debt that's in collections and that's very old? Yes. It's for any of it up to $50,000. So stay with me. It's about a 2-week horizon is what Biden's saying for this memo. The next one that's formulating as a standalone stimulus bill is a pot bill. The pot bill is back from 2020. If you've been tuning into Hazard Pay every night, we've been laughing about it. Well, guess what? It's actually front page news today, Saturday. It's a little bit hazy, the details still, but it's very stimulating. And you may need to sit down and have something to munch on while you listen to this one. The pot bill is being introduced by Chuck Schumer next week, and he headlines a new Political report today that says that the president keeps on blowing him off on this one. So Chuck Schumer has said he's now putting it in as a standalone bill in the Senate and thinks he can get it done, and is ready to light up one to celebrate. He was actually asked about the vice president, who reportedly has admitted to partaking in the festivities before when she was not a vice president, and actually co-authored a version of the marijuana bill when she was senator, but now as vice president, she doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So he said, we're going to go ahead and do it whether the president blows me off or not. So I will give you the puff by puff on this one. As it continues to formulate. Also formulated as a standalone bill is a lot of other things that are really at hand. But one of the things that I need you to understand is this reoccurring stimulus checks. People have been asking me about this, especially in light of what happened Friday. On Friday, the labor numbers were released. It was a very good number. Let's just say it's a good number. Economy is doing well. What does that mean for my reoccurring stimulus checks? This is what's going on. The fourth stimulus bill definitely will go by reconciliation like the prior one, and it can. The reconciliation process, as you saw with this one, takes a little bit of time. It's not 2 weeks. And when it lands in the Senate, there's those 2 days of called Votorama. If you don't know Votorama, it was on the extended album release from the B-52s. Votorama to the voter. Yeah, it's a horrible song. Mitch McConnell was in the music video dancing. I hope your eyes didn't burn when you watched it. But the Votorama was for 2 months, 2 days. It felt like 2 months. It was for 2 days in the Senate when the third stimulus package bill landed. And that's when senators amend the bill, the reconciliation. Well, the next Votorama will be literally having you dance on your feet, because that's when 21 of 50 Democrats say they are going to amend the infrastructure bill and put in there reoccurring stimulus checks. How much, how often, what amount? First, they don't say the amount. Second, they don't say how long. But third, they do say how often. And they say every month. So what is my prediction of the situation? 1, likely $1,400 to $2,000. 2, you want the bill in the Senate as soon as possible. You want the bill in the Senate by July, no later. If it lands after in July, you have an issue because you want as many checks as you can get, because it's every month. So you don't want it to take several months to get there. If you get that bill into law by July, that's $12,000. 6 times 12, 2 approximately, is approximately $12,000. This is for you if you are an individual who makes less than $75,000. Really big, exciting news. Meantime, this morning, the president released a new video from his staff. And the new video is part of this, this bit they do where they produce videos. They're very highly decorated and orchestrated. And in the video, it talks about 4 stimulants. Let's listen in. And before you watch it, I want you to notice something. Every room, which is a different room, is lit with a yellow light. There's a yellow filter in the production of this video, sort of like how I use a purple filter on set. And everything is just filtered. The president's hair matches his wall, matches his table, matches his bookshelf. I guess that was the intended purpose. Let's listen in to see the coloring and listen to what they say.
How will the country be different because of this legislation? And what difference will it make to me?
Well, modernizing the infrastructure in America will make a gigantic difference. Our roads, our ports.
See, there you go. The wall matches the fireplace and matches the hair, matches the skin. There's a very, very thick filter of yellow on this production.
Our bridges, our airports, our mass transit systems, and there's so much we can do, creating very, very significant jobs and good pay. But the most important thing is to put us in a competitive position where no one can outcompete us, because we have an infrastructure that allows us to get things done quickly, safely, and in a modern way.
I know that President Biden just passed the rescue plan, and I'm just wondering how that differs from this jobs plan.
Great question. So the American Rescue Plan was an emergency package that was meant to, and is meant to, we're still implementing it, address the crisis we're living in. What the American Jobs Plan is meant to do is to invest in industries of the future, to rebuild our infrastructure across the country, create millions of jobs, ensure more people have access to broadband, more people have access to clean drinking water, and more people have assistance that they need to address caregiving across the country.
What kind of jobs does the plan actually create?
Now, this one is a little bit peculiar. The question is asked by an elderly man, what type of jobs does the plan create? Presumably, he wants to hear a question that relates to him. And the answer is, well, there's some jobs to get on the freeway and lay some pipes, sir. Let's see the response.
Jobs does the plan actually create?
This plan will create jobs all around the country, putting people to work building things, roads, bridges, highways, constructing new housing, replacing lead pipes to ensure clean water for all Americans. It'll put people to work innovating in R&D and labs around the country, helping to create new discoveries in clean energy jobs of the future. And it will also help increase the pay and the dignity of the workers who provide care in our economy, caring for the elderly and the disabled.
How does this jobs plan tackle climate change? And is environmental justice being factored in?
That's such a great question.
This jobs plan upgrades housing. It electrifies transportation, it invests in innovation, and it builds out the supply chains that we're going to need to tackle the climate crisis. And at the same time, it targets 40% of the benefits of this investment in the communities that have been disadvantaged.
Hello, President Biden. My question is, how will rural broadband work, and how quickly can the expansion occur?
This is one of the most asked questions I ever get on this channel, which is, how do I get free internet? How do I get free internet? I was asked it under second stimulus. I was asked it under third stimulus. Free internet is a major, major issue across the country. Millions of Americans in rural areas and also urban areas do not have access to decent internet. And while I'm so excited about the announcement of this, I'm not excited by what the president has to say about the time horizon for the internet. If you watch this video, he says it'll be available for you in 8 years from now. What? Let's listen in and see what he has to say.
Idea that we're not in a position where we invest in loans and grants to companies and local governments and nonprofits and rural co-ops to be able to come into the 21st century with a minimum requirement of having access to the internet seems to be very short-sighted. So what we're going to do is, the goal is to bring broadband coverage to every single home in America by 2030.
By 2030. 2030. Okay. I don't know why it takes to 2030 to get some telecom companies to go out there and put them in the ground. 2030. And then that question to the man who's of advanced age: what type of jobs are you going to have available for me? We're going to have some heavy labor jobs where you're laying pipes and constructing bridges available for you, sir. Not very responsive to the questions. But ultimately, I will stay with the subject throughout the next few weeks and see what other details they have. Again, it was a very produced video. I'd like to see your comments, what you think about the video. Was it strong on content or was it weak on content? I think it's a little bit stale because it's so overly produced. It's very edited. It all has this beige yellow lighting across the face, and it has this sort of Orange County Housewives, beep 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 news underneath. That's very sort of overwhelming. I think it comes off a little bit flat on content, but a little bit overwhelmed on editing quality, making the message a little bit hard to hear. But what I want you to know is that when the fourth stimulus package, this one, the infrastructure bill, lands in the Senate, those senators, 21 of 50, they don't care what he's doing with the pipes on the freeway or the bridge on the highway. They are going to hold the bill into Votorama for a massive amendment, and that massive amendment will be a stimulus check every month. The sooner this bill gets to the Senate, however strange the bill is, the better it is for you, because that is where the big reoccurring stimulus checks will be. Again, as I said at the beginning of this video, I appreciate all the successes that everyone is now finally seeing in receiving a stimulus check. It's been a long run. I appreciate all the positivity you've had to endure to get to the finish line. And congratulations to all the hundreds of thousands of you who have a deposited check, a pending check in the mail, or a check now with a pending deposit date. If you don't, you will. And ultimately, away we go. 2021 is going to be a great year, and I've always promised to you that 2021 will be the year in which you're cashing checks, not tracking checks. And while over the last 2 weeks it was very important for me that I do track these checks, now that they're en route, it's very important that I focus on getting you other money. $5, $10, $15, $20,000 that's available under the third stimulus package. That's available in these standalone bills that are heating up very quickly in separate form from Leader Schumer. That's available under fourth stimulus, and have you informed and educated about the financial markets. So as the year progresses, you are not dependent upon one check like you may have been in previous years. This was going to be a better year, and thank you for your patronage. I'll be back with you in just 5 minutes from now and jumping into the live chat and interacting with you as Mornings LA continues. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and thank you for all your kind comments and messages overnight. It really helped me get ready for this morning's broadcast. I'll see you in just 5 minutes as Mornings LA continues.